Hey, everybody, welcome to If You Don't Like That. How are you? Hope you are having a good day as we are in the middle of the week. Open forum, we can go in any direction you want. NFL training camps, holdouts, whatever you want to do. I love Cody's message. Grant, you're right. The Michael Jordan Chicago's Bulls intro is mesmerizing, worth a rewatch. I always enjoyed the Pistons entrance as well. Cody, I will tell you, this did not happen at any other arena in the NBA. When I first started going to Chicago, my first game was the 88-89 season. And the old Chicago Stadium was amazing. Frank Layden, who just passed away, the former head coach of the Utah Jazz, called the bus to the locker room at Chicago Stadium the toughest 10 yards in basketball. It was in a horrible area, horrible. And you had to walk downstairs to get to the locker room. But when Ray Clay introduced the Chicago Bulls with the animation on the scoreboard of Bulls running through the city of Chicago out to the Chicago Stadium, it gave me chills. And during the starting lineups, we were in commercial. And in all my years of announcing the NBA, is the only time that I took my headsets off so that I could take in the most amazing moment that I've ever experienced at a basketball game. Sitting courtside at the old Chicago Stadium with Ray Clay introducing the Bulls, the animation, the noise level, the anticipation of Michael Jordan being the last member of the Bulls to be introduced. And I'm not making this up. I used to sit there year after year after year. 3 years at the old Chicago Stadium with Jordan. Then he played 3 years at the United Center. And I used to, every year, take my headsets off. I'd look around and I would tell myself, you are so blessed to be sitting here doing this. Every year. It's the only arena in the league that I used to take my headsets off at. Nowhere else. It was incredible. Incredible. Nothing like it in the NBA. It was an amazing experience to be in that arena during the starting lineups. And that was for the Kings. I can't even imagine what it would have been like for an NBA Finals. Although I don't know, it could have been much different because it was just crazy. It was amazing. So I'm glad that you went and checked it out. All right. Any expectations on the Giants this season? How exciting are you for football season? Love my Raiders, but good luck to your team, Grant. My expectations are they'll be lucky to win 7 games. They have a really good defense. They have maybe the best defensive front in football. That's going to be a big plus for them. I think they have a top 10 defense. Offensively, their line is not very good. It really depends on Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL. Tough division. I'd be surprised that they win 7 games. But I love NFL. I live for it. Live for it. Absolutely live for it. Bulls intro gave me chills. Yep. Cody says must have sent chills up your spine. Do I vape? No. And I don't understand why anybody would. Have you seen the studies on that? Why would anyone in their right mind vape? Seriously. I mean that. Any stories or memories about Francisco Garcia? Yeah. During a game, the ball got stuck between the rim and the backboard, and he went up to get it, tip it off, and when he came down, he landed on someone's foot and he sprained his ankle. And I love Francisco. Love the guy. All right? Love the guy. Big fan of him. You know, he was from Spanish Harlem, and he used to live near Yankee Stadium, and he was a Red Sox fan. I'm like, Cisco, like, what's wrong with you? I go, how can you live right near Yankee Stadium, grow up there, and be a Red Sox fan? Like, you're not well. You're not well. You're not well. Seriously. All right, again, if you want to get in on the program, we'd love to have you. You got the QR code right above my shoulder. All right. Or you got the link. Give me a call. We'll put you on right here if you don't like that. What else you want to talk about today? All right. What else you want to talk about? Hey, Grant, it's clear that Nick is already better than Devin Carter, because to me, he is ready. It's a little premature. I feel sorry for Giants fans. Wilson should not be the quarterback. Why do you feel sorry for him? Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They're not going to be very good this year. Like, I don't understand. Why do you feel sorry for the Giants fans? Don't feel sorry for us. I've watched them win 4 Super Bowls. I don't understand. Why would you feel sorry for Giants fans? It's not like the guy can't play. It's not like the guy is chopped liver. I mean, it's Russell Wilson. He's a veteran quarterback. I mean, is he where he was a couple of years ago with Seattle? Probably not. But come on. Am I still friends with Danny Ainge? Yes. Love Danny. Love him. Great guy. Great guy. Do I think the WNBA will lock out? I don't care. I don't watch it. I don't care about the WNBA, so it doesn't matter what they do. I know whatever they do will probably be the wrong decision, though, based on everything that's gone on. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I can promise you that. All right? Not going to lose sleep over that. Can you give me anything positive about to look forward to with the team? Are you talking about the Kings? Because all I see is a 10 to 12 seed in the West, and that's it. Well, I don't know. I have to wait and see what the roster looks like. All right? If Jameis Winston was the quarterback for the Giants, they would win 12 games. They wouldn't win 12 games in 2 years if he was the quarterback. They wouldn't win 12 games, including preseason. My take on Chris Paul as a player and what he meant to the NBA as he comes back to the Clippers in his last season. I always think of Chris Paul, and I think of a huge underachiever in the postseason. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Seriously. It's the first thing that comes to my mind. What does he mean to the Clippers? Not a lot. A little stability, but not a lot. I don't know how to answer this question yet. 3 teams in the NFL that surprise us. Who do you think the teams will be? I don't know yet. I will let you know. All right. Jameis Winston is better than Russell Wilson. Jameis Winston is not better than Russell Wilson. Jameis Winston has never been better than Russell Wilson. And Jameis Winston, this late in his career, still is colorblind, still cannot read defenses, and is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Period. I'd rather have Daniel Jones than Jameis Winston. Seriously. Wake up. Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston. Got to be kidding me. Jameis Winston? Huh? You mean Mr. Pick Six? Man. Jameis Winston? Are we thinking of the same Jameis Winston? Mr. Pick Six. I don't know why anyone would want Jameis Winston as their quarterback. Seriously. So I'll take Russell Wilson in a heartbeat. What's my prediction for the Cowboys? Well, Jerry Jones is their owner, right? So that means they'll have a disappointing season. I think Prescott's highly overrated. They have great wideouts now. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's the real deal. Pickens, obviously needed a change of scenery. Offensive line, big question mark. Big question mark. That's an issue. Running game is an issue. And you got to have Parsons on the field for almost every game. I think they're third in that division. I think Philly's better. I think Washington's better. I think they could, if everything breaks their way, be a wild card. And then they'll lose in the playoffs like they do every year. Do I see the Eagles repeating? No, I think Washington's going to win that division. Now, they got to get McLaurin in camp, who's holding out. But I think that they are – I think the Washington team is going to win that division. I think that Saquon Barkley is going to have a tough time playing a full season again just based on his history. The Eagles have lost a couple of real key guys on the edge. Their edge rushers, their defensive line, not nearly as good as last year. I think Washington's going to win. Vegas has New England at under 8.5. What do you think? I think under. What do you think? I think under. Dario and Eubanks, how do I think the Kings will use them if they're still on the Kings opening night? They'll be good at handing out towels to the players when they come in for timeouts and stuff when they're at the end of the bench, assuming they're on the bench. How come the Lakers are losing players to the Clippers? Is the tide changing in LA? I mean, players need jobs. Players go where there's money. And the Clippers still are a formidable team. They're not a championship caliber team, but they're still, they're formidable, right? They're certainly, you got to reckon with them, Hey, I want to tell you about EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. David and Adam, two guys trying to do something different and better. If you're looking to sell your vehicle, give them a call, their email. If you are looking to purchase a vehicle, well, if you go to their website, edhmotors.com, check out everything that they have. And if you don't see what you're looking for, really, not a problem. All you do is you pick up the phone, you call David and Adam, go, hey, I'm looking for this type of vehicle this year, this color. What can you do for me? All right. That's what they do. And you'll take delivery at the Auto Lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. So you don't go to a dealership. You don't deal with that. They're awesome. David and Adam, EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Get in touch with them, phone number, email, or check out their website, edhmotors.com. That's David and Adam at EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Glad to have you with us right here on If You Don't Like That. I think they get to 9 wins, huh, Cody? I have a lot of faith in Drake May. Okay. All right. Good coach. Bills, obviously. Dolphins, so-so. You never know with Tua. I don't know. My question in that division, Cody, are the Jets. Like, does Fields elevate them? Is he going to finally look like a guy that the Bears thought they were drafting? Good defense. New coach. They're going to be interesting to watch. Am I surprised that Cooper and Allen are still unsigned. I'm not surprised right now. No, no. Have I been to a DMV recently? I think the Department of Motor Vehicles is the worst public service in this country in terms of customer service. I have not. I have not been to a DMV. I would agree with you. It's not a pleasant experience in any way, shape, or form. That's for sure. Does anybody look forward to going to the DMV? Do you ever go, oh, wow, tomorrow's a great day. I get to go to the DMV? No. No. So, no, recently, I think the last DMV I went to, and by the way, it was much better in Florida. I think the last time I was at the DMV was 4 years ago in Miami. And it was actually a much better experience. Much better. Much better experience. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I like Justin Fields also, but not sure he raises the Jets any better than last season. I'm not crazy on Fields just yet. I need to see more, Cody. I gotta have him. He's got to show me more, and this is the year. What's my pregame ritual before I stream every night? I turn on my laptop, make sure the lighting's okay, make sure my audio works, and hit the start button. There you go. Does that answer your question? What's your ritual before you watch my show? There's no ritual. I just am so happy we're talking about the NFL. Like, I'm so freaking excited that we've got training camp news. You know, right now there's not a lot going on. Most of the attention is on holdouts. Here's what I hate about the NFL preseason. When I go online and talk about this quarterback's really looking good. This quarterback's really looking good. Oh, wow, this quarterback's really looking good. Let me tell you something. You got a red jersey on. No one's putting a hand on you. You should look good, right? Oh, wow, what an arm. Oh, nonsense. Wake me up in September, would you please? Wake me up in September. My thoughts on how the Niners will do. I think the Niners are going to have a bounce-back season. I like their team. I think that division is completely up for grabs. Goes with a lot of teams. Health, right? And they had a real bad training camp last year. They need McCaffrey on the field. The biggest concern I have for the 49ers is their defensive line. They lost some really key members. Now they added a little bit, but I don't think it's as good. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. Rice and Addison are the headlines, pretty much, you know. Hey, Paul says, hey, Grant, just wanted to chime in. I watched your show later last night. Good vibes, good show. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Seahawks defense may be top 5. Yeah, they're good. I think so. I could see the Seahawks being right in the mix. You know, right in the mix. I believe C.J. Stroud has a high ceiling. I do too. And that division's completely up for grabs, right? When you look at that division, other than Tennessee, I mean, I don't think the Colts could win the division. I think it's Jacksonville. I think it's Houston. But I think it's up for grabs between those two. I can't put one ahead of the other. I mean, if you absolutely said, Napes, you got to pick a winner in that division right now, I would probably go with Houston. I think Tennessee is your last place. I mean, are they going to go with Cam Ward? Is he going to be your opening day starter? Are they going to have him just, be them guy, learn on the fly? They're not very good. They're not very good. Kyler Murray take Arizona to the playoffs. I thought he was much better last year. Problem I see with Arizona is their consistency. They're just too darn inconsistent for me. Ah, sitting in a Jones Beach parking lot waiting for my daughter to get out of a concert may be worse than the DMV. Good point right there. What's happening there, Baki? Hey, Gemini brother, I hope you are doing well. Big hello from the Serbian basketball family from Montenegro. Oh, love it. Love it. Patrick's surrounded by cars right now. Good luck, buddy. Cooler weather in Sac right now, getting me ready for football, any football. It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. Hey, I hope you don't need to call New Works Plumbing because that means everything is working for you and you don't need an upgrade. You don't need a repair, but that's not always the case. And when you do need plumbing, New Works Plumbing will be there for you. They've got a fix for you. Get in touch with them. You got their website or newworksplumbing.com. NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. And again, they're available 24/7. Keep them in mind the next time you need plumbing service. How you doing today? Everybody good? Hope you're doing well, Baki. I hope you're having a good summer, buddy. I really enjoyed watching Wimbledon, Baki. I watched most of it. I really did. I thought the number one seed on the women's side was the worst number one seed I've ever watched. And I mean that. The Belarus gal. I thought I as a number one seed, I was just like, she's a number one seed. Like I looked at her. I didn't know a lot about her. And I was like, I watched her quarterfinal match and her semifinal match. And I was like, she's a number one seed? Didn't understand that. Didn't understand that. I thought Ben Shelton would do better when he got to the semis. I thought he would be a little bit more competitive instead of losing in straight sets. But, I mean, Jannik Sinner, wow. What a match. What a match. He had Alcaraz completely off balance. Just a really, especially after he lost the first set when he was up 4-2. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. French Open. Nope. No contest after that. It is always good to hear from Baki. Who's my top 5 favorite player from different genres? What sport are you talking about? Is Sean McDermott on the hot seat? I think 100% he's on the hot seat. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. How could he not be? Right, Cody? I think he's clearly on the hot seat. Clearly. I mean, what would happen if they got off to a bad start, Cody? I don't see that happening, but if they did, I could see him being gone before the season even ends. I'm not forecasting that. What king had the strangest eating habits? I don't really know how to answer that because I wasn't around them all the time when they ate. I would say Jason Williams had a pretty strange eating habit, eating chicken tenders and fries, 45 minutes to an hour before the game all the time. He was a junk food king. I mean, like, who's your top 5 favorite sports? Again, your question is not descriptive enough. That doesn't even make sense. My top 5 favorite sports? You mean my top 5 of all time in any sport? Wayne Gretzky is on that list. Lawrence Taylor is on that list. For sure. I'd have to think about it in depth more, but Michael Jordan's on that list. Probably Willis Reed is on that list for me. And, I hate to say this, but O.J. Simpson's on that list for me. He's the best running back I ever watched. Would I build a team with an elite quarterback eating up your cap, or would you take a average quarterback with a great running back? No, I would not take an average quarterback with a great running back. I would never do that. I would take an average quarterback with a great offensive line, okay, and a great defense. If I had an average quarterback with a very good offensive line and a great defense, I could win a Super Bowl. You could do that. Give me a really top flight offensive line with a dominating defense, I'll win a Super Bowl. You know, Goose Gossage is on there, and I didn't even take a baseball player. I should have. I would probably put Mickey Mantle on there because I watched Mickey Mantle play in person at Yankee Stadium. I love Goose, and the interview I had with him at Lake Tahoe was just epic. Loved Goose Gossage. Sabonis is an all-NBA center. I would never think that the Kings lost a trade with Indiana. Well, you're probably in the minority there. You know, you're probably in the minority. Is it true that Ben McLemore would often be trying to get tickets for his family and friends minutes before tip-off? I heard that a long time ago from Kings personnel multiple times. I don't remember, so I can't really, I don't know. That's a long time ago, and you have to understand that the locker room was closed 45 minutes before game time, so I don't know what was going on in there at that juncture. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Says Tyson, Jordan, Bonds, Brady, Jeter. I would have to put Muhammad Ali on there if we're going boxing. I mean, Ali's clearly Ali, Gretzky for sure. Mickey Mantle for me, 3. Lawrence Taylor, 4. You know, if you're going to go that route. And Jack Nicklaus, 5. That's my 5. I did end up seeing the F1 movie. If yes, what'd you think? I liked it. I thought it was very good, very entertaining, very moving. Did you like it? I watched it last week. I went and saw it, and I liked it. I thought it was good. Thought Brad Pitt was great. I mean, it's a movie, right? Like you would never, ever take a driver with no F1 experience and put him in a car in the middle of a season. And I mean, like, they wouldn't make it out of the pit. They wouldn't even know how to turn the car on. So, like, yeah, but it was, I enjoyed it. Grant, who is your current untradeable Kings player, not including Sabonis? There is no untradeable player. They don't have one, including Sabonis. Hey, Grant, what is your honest expectation for the Kings for the season with the roster as it is now? Well, as the roster as it is now, I think their ceiling with Dennis Schroeder, assuming that they could stay healthy, their top would be 45 wins. I mean, like best case. Best case. I loved it. I thought what they did with the camera work was fantastic. I would agree with you. That was a really good movie. Getting into those cars would be like getting into an airplane and trying to fly it. Getting out of the car might be the hardest thing for us, John, right? John, we might like get stuck in the car and that's our new home because we can't get the hell out of it, right? I mean, John, even if we can figure out a way to take the steering wheel off, have you ever seen the F1 drivers try to get out of the car? They struggle to get out of their car. John, I'm thinking to myself, like if Max Verstappen struggles to get out of the car, how are we getting out of the car, John? John, we'd be eating the barbecue that you're cooking for us. We'd be in the car eating. We wouldn't be able to get out of the seat. We couldn't get out of the cockpit, John. You know? Right? I mean, you wonder how long and how good Barry Sanders could have been. Barry Sanders never did it for me. I mean, he was fun to watch, but big game didn't do it for me. I'm glad you agree with me, John. When I fly, do I have global entry, clear, or TSA pre, or a mixture of the three? I have global entry for international and TSA pre domestically, which you can use flying internationally when you leave the country, but not when you leave. But yeah, I have global entry and TSA pre. Global entry is phenomenal. The last time I came into the States from Thailand, I got through, by the time I put my passport in the kiosk, I was out of immigration. I'm not exaggerating, in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. This could be the first season Kings will be rooting for a play-in spot as the ceiling. Sad. Well, if I'm the Kings, I'm okay with having a horrible season because the draft looks just great next year. I love it. I would love that. Have a bad year, get a stud player next year. I'm okay with that. I really am. Hey, Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Go to calusasunrise.com and you'll be able to get all of the information from this Blazona development project in Calusa. Now, remember, there's no Mellorews, no homeowners. Think about how much that saves you. No Mellorews, no homeowners with these beautiful models. Adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Good access. I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Just go to calusasunrise.com. Check out all the information at beautiful Sunrise Landing in Calusa. You get a chance to go back and see Jerry Reynolds on with Rhino yesterday. Some good information there. I watched it last night after I got done with my show. I'm working on getting global entry. I applied about a month ago and still waiting on approval. TSA and clear are awesome. I always thought you did global entry as an interview at the airport, not online. I've never been able to do global entry online. I've always had to go and talk to a agent at the airport. And I've always timed that when I'm flying somewhere. And it took 5 minutes. But maybe things are different now. Sanders ever have a decent supporting cast? Maybe I'm wrong. Not great. Global entry is great. Take your photo at the kiosk and done. So it is the best. And I always try to have only a carry-on. The last time I flew into America, I had a carry-on. And I'm not exaggerating. From the airplane to being outside the terminal. Now, this is coming in from Thailand, all right? From getting off the airplane to being outside the airport was 12 minutes because I timed it. 12 minutes. That's pretty freaking good. I am correct, Grant. Need to get conditionally approved first, and then I can interview. All right, buddy. Piece of cake. I don't know what airport you can do it at. You can't do it in Sacramento, can you? I did mine in Miami, and it was, I take that back. I did mine in LA at LAX. It took, and here's what else I did. I take that back. That's the first time I did it. When I had to renew, I landed, I don't even know what airport I was at in America. Maybe Miami. I can't even remember right now. I think it was. And I didn't even have an appointment. And I saw that they were open, and I went in. I said, hey, can I do global entry? He said, yeah, sit down. Done. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It's great. Yeah, if you travel internationally, global entry it's the way to go. It's the way to go. And if you can have a carry-on, if you're not checking luggage, because most international flights, I mean, it takes 45 freaking minutes to get your luggage. So I'm always trying not to have a checked bag. Most annoying thing while flying is when someone asks you to change seats with them to sit next to the partner. And when I said no, they were all annoyed. I'm entitled to my seat I purchased. Yeah, but if it's not an inconvenience to you, what's the big deal? I don't mind doing it. I get asked, if I'm sitting in an aisle seat and someone wants to switch with me to be with their family member, their spouse, whatever, I'm okay. I don't care. I'm not going to switch an aisle seat for a middle seat. I would say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But an aisle seat for an aisle seat, I don't have a problem with that. Like, what's the big deal? Seriously, what's the big deal? Now, the only other big deal would be if you've got, carry-on stuff above you and they want you to move forward. That's an issue if there's no overhead space, because then when you land, you can't get to your stuff. But it generally, if someone wants to switch with you, it's normally only a 1 or 2 rows away, because they wouldn't ask you to switch. They would ask somebody else. Yeah, aisle for middle. And I said, no. Yeah, of course. I would say no too. I'm like, come on. That's not happening. What are my thoughts on deferred contracts in baseball? I don't care about contracts in any sport. Don't care. I've never cared. It's meaningless to me. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much they're making. I don't care how long it's for. I'm a fan. I don't give a damn. Doesn't matter. So I deferred. Not that. How does that affect me? I don't care. Aisle seat is a requirement for a flight overseas. No way I'm sitting inward over the Pacific. Freaking men. I'm not doing that either. Not a chance. I feel like all the people sitting behind me try and rush ahead of you to exit the plane. Have you experienced this? I have, especially over in Asia. Now, if you're Chinese and you're offended by this, I'm going to make a disclaimer. Don't be. It's what I've observed. For some reason, the Chinese air passengers feel that as soon as the seatbelt sign goes up, they need to race to the front of the cabin. And if people are already standing in the aisle, getting their overhead, it doesn't matter. They still try to weave their way through to get up to, and I'm like, hey, where are you going? And they look at you. I go, where do you think you're going? Stop. 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 You're not going anywhere. That ticks me off. I don't see that very often in America. Occasionally. But in Asia, I see it more than you would expect. Yeah, that is annoying. That's annoying. Amazing. Hong Kong residents seem to be a bit more considerate than folks from the mainland. Makes me mad, Grant. Can't we all exit organized? You would think so, Cody. You would think so. I mean, it's pretty common sense, right? You let the row exit in front of you. How hard is that? Yep, I did China Airlines SFO to Bangkok, and I saw that. Very true. Yep. SFO to Beijing, and then you have to, wherever you're at. You can't go nonstop. But yes, very true. It is very frustrating. I mean, I'm being blunt with you. It is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. All right, tomorrow, another show at 8 o'clock. Rhino with the King's Court at 3. And you never know. We might have some big football news tomorrow, right? Because I hate to say this, we've already seen some players go down for the year with injuries. And I'm just, That's the one thing you hold your breath about, because they always seem to happen on the practice field, not during the preseason games when the players don't really play, the main players. You just hold your breath. Did the Giants improve their offensive line? No, not in my opinion. They did not. Rio Linda native Cam Scatterboo could be a player. Yeah. Could be. Could be. Can't we all get along? All lives matter, right? All lives matter, John. Every single one. I don't know where I've heard that before, but now that you say that, yeah, all lives matter. Every single one, John. I don't know where I've heard that before, but yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. So here's what I'll do as we move forward towards August. I'll start doing some football previews, and I want you to be thinking about teams that you think are like last year. I called the 49ers before the season began. I said, I think they're going to have a huge drop off, and I got lucky. They did. And I said, I thought the Rams would win the division. I got lucky. So give me a team or two that you think is going to be really good, or at least they're expected to be really good, that will not be good. And give me one or two teams that you think are not going to be very good that will jump up and be good. So think about that. All right. Think about that. There's always a team or two. There's generally one team in each conference. So think about that, because once we get into August, we're going to start doing a lot more football, because that's really the only thing going on. And I want to have fun, and I want to go back and forth, and I want to try to do some different things. So think about that. All right. Do I think Chris Webber deserved better from the Kings? What do you mean? Do I think he deserved better? Like, what did the Kings not do for Chris Webber? They kissed his ass every day that he was here. Okay. Every day. That's all they did was kiss his ass. Like, how could they do better for him? They gave him a max contract, which he deserved, by the way. He deserved it. I don't have a problem with that. But how could they do better for him? They kissed his ass every single day. They gave him special treatment. He had different rules than the rest of the players. Like, hello. I mean, Rick Adams let him do whatever he wanted. There was no rules for Chris. None. No rules. So I don't really understand your question. Actually, I think the Kings deserve better from Chris Webber than Chris Webber deserved from the Kings, to be quite honest with you. I think the Kings deserve better from Chris Webber. That's what I think. That's not what I think. That's what I know, and that's the truth. Seriously. That's the truth. You want the truth? That's the truth. You watch Grant Napier, you get the truth. You don't get, I got to be politically correct. You get the truth. I lived it every single day. I saw it with my own eyes. I know. And the players in the locker room with him knew. But they were winning. Turn your head the other way. And Chris was a likable guy. So it's not like they didn't like him. But they just, that's the way it was. Any of the players that play with him would tell you the same thing. Everyone knew. And Vlade Divac is the reason why it worked. If Vlade wasn't there, Chris would have been unbearable. It would have been an unbearable situation for the franchise. Unbearable. Vlade was the glue. Vlade's the reason why it worked. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Kings traded him for a worse player. Chris couldn't walk when he got traded. I'm going to tell you a story, Andre. Never forget this. We're in Philadelphia. The first game. I'll never forget this. I'm in Dallas. I know exactly where I was standing. I'm in Dallas at the Crescent Court Hotel with the Kings playing the Mavs. Okay? It had just been announced that Chris was traded to Philadelphia. I'm standing in the lobby. Chris comes walking by, and he comes up to me, and he shakes my hand, and we give each other a hug. And he goes, I know we've had our differences, but man, I get it. And I said, hey, I wish you the best of luck, man. I get it. And it's all good. And we parted on good ways then. Good. And we get a hug and everything right in the lobby. All right. And the first game that Chris played was against Sacramento, and we're in Philadelphia. And my stats guy, who had been there for a number of years, said to me, how stupid are you all? I said, what do you mean? He goes, why would you trade Chris Webber for Kenny Thomas and whatever? And I said, I will be back here next year. And I go, and this is a promise. You are going to come up to me and you're going to apologize to me. And he started laughing. I said, you will come up to me and you'll go, you were right. Fast forward. And by the way, Chris missed a bunny layup at the end of the game that would have won it for Philadelphia. Missed the bunny layup. We come back to Philadelphia next year. Same statistician. He walks right up to me. He goes, you were right. You were right. I said on my radio show after the trade that it would be the worst trade and one of the worst trades for the Philadelphia 76ers in years, and that it would cost their general manager and the coach their jobs. Guess what happened? They lost their jobs. Guess what happened? Chris never played well for Philadelphia. Why? Because physically he was not able to do it anymore. I called it, and I told my statistician right then and there, you will come up to me next season when I'm here and you'll apologize. Everything I just said happened 100% verbatim. 100%. 100%. Not 95, not 98, not 99, 100. From the day that I gave Chris Webber a hug and we talked at the Crescent Court lobby in Dallas, Texas, everything that transpired over that time to a T. To a T. Chris says, yep, I remember you saying that about the trade. And everyone said, oh, you don't like Chris. I go, you know what? I don't make comments on players based on whether I like them or not. Like have you not listened to me for decades or for a long time? I don't make comments on a player based on like or dislike. All right? I went on the Jim Rome show all over North America and complimented DeMarcus Cousins for the town hall meeting that he had with the local police department years ago when we were in a big time feud. Okay? Like I didn't decide, you know what? I'm not going to go on North America syndicated radio network, simulcast on CBS Sports Network. Oh, I'm not going to say anything nice about DeMarcus for what he did because I don't like him as a person or we're in a no, I don't think that way. If somebody deserves credit, I give him credit. Okay? Like I don't go, I don't like that person. I'm not going to acknowledge them. That's not how I do my job. I've never done my job that way. I will never do my job that way. Now, are there people I like and are there people I dislike that I cover in sports? Of course. We're human beings. You like people, you don't like people, right? You have friends. There are other people you don't want to be your friends. Why? Because we're people. That's how we live, right? We have likes and we have dislikes. But if you're going to be in this profession and you're going to make comments based on who you like and who you don't like, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it. Shouldn't. Plain and simple. You and I were on the radio together that week. Truer words were never spoken. Thank you, buddy. Loved when Grant hosted The Jungle. I did that for 17, 18, 19 years. Was always fun. All right, tomorrow, I will be back, 8 o'clock, Rhino, Kings Court, at 3 o'clock. Keep the questions coming, man, and be thinking about what I said about football. Give me your team or two that you think is going to be good that won't be, and vice versa. All right? Let me know. We'll have a lot of fun. Talk to you tomorrow, everybody. Appreciate you. Fun show today. Stay safe. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.